Hi, everybody. This is the baseball, like the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the hot, and welcome back to the baseball. I hope you like this video and hit that subscribe button. We got a lot of stuff to cover tonight. I mean, really, we have a lot of stuff to cover tonight. What's going on? I mean, what is going on, folks? I mean, really, what is happening? What's happening in the world of baseball right now? I want to say hello to the chat. Hello, Mothman, Evolved, Being Love, Rocky Marciano. Hello, I am Big Buddy. Big Buddy, we'll see what happens. Anthony Descesari. We're going to find out tonight because according to Mike Puma and little Andy Martino, it seems that it is going to happen tonight. Finally done with this. If he doesn't come here, he doesn't come here. I'm not going to cry about it. You're not going to see me punching a couch behind me. You're not going to see me cursing up a blue streak like other YouTubers wanting to get all this sort of attention. If he doesn't come here, we don't want you here. Simple as that. Simple as that. Got a very jam-packed show tonight. And obviously the big thing is Juan Soto. That's really the big thing tonight. Mothman Evolved. I am not ordained, Mothman. I've been saying from the beginning that the Mets are going to sign him. They're still the favorites because they'll spend as much money as it takes to get him. And he's let it be known that he wants to get a lot of money. And this is Scott Boras. So it's all going to come down to money. And it's all going to come down to two teams, the Mets and the Yankees. Quite frankly, it's not going to come down to anybody else, really. The Blue Jays, boring franchise, boring team. You know, one thing about the Mets, they're not boring. There's always something going on here. Good, bad, or indifferent. And the Dodgers, there's been a lot of scary moments, on Friday. I thought that the Dodgers were going to sign him. But I don't think that's going to happen. They seem to be the one team that has the least to offer in terms of monetary, in terms of the money. That's for sure. I want to mention this real quickly. I was not happy with the live stream last night, not because of you, but because of me. And I don't normally call myself that, but it wasn't a very good live stream. So hopefully this one will be much better than last night. There was a complete total cluster F, as it were. It wasn't organized, just a mess. But we got a lot to cover. Obviously, Juan Soto is the big fish. There is really. We've covered it so much here. I've covered it so much here over the last half season. Last 6 months. Talking about him, he's one of the best players in the game. He's one of the best hitters in the game. He's a winning player. He's a very effervescent player. He's got a big personality, which helps a lot. You need a guy that's got to have a big personality. He's got an enormous personality, and he can play here in New York now. Now, if he stays with the Yankees, hey, whatever. Let him hang out with Horseface and see if Horseface can win the Triple Crown next year against some horse, or maybe gets the batting title, the home run title, and the RBI title. But Soto is one of these players that he will transform any team's lineup. And he will transform the Mets lineup in a way that we've not seen here in a long time. This is Mike Piazza territory. Just due to the fact that he's that great of a hitter and that big of a threat for any lineup to have to navigate. Now, what they do after that, well, that's going to depend on them. And I don't think it's going to take. I mean, really, they will do whatever it takes. Now, Steve Cohen has said, I saw a clip of it yesterday saying, and this was a while ago, saying that he looked at buying the Mets as a sort of a public trust, and he just wants to make people happy. And that's what we want from our owner. We don't want an owner that's worrying about the money and where that money is going to get spent. He's a pretty smart guy. Now, I hope that this situation doesn't take us too late tonight. Hopefully this will be resolved. Now, they are behind an hour in Dallas, Texas, a place of infamy many years ago. But hopefully we'll have a resolution to Juan Soto tonight, and I think we will. I mean, that's sort of been the word. Pastor Steve Bovey. Yankees have a lot of holes. How can they fill them and sign Soto too? That's the thing. Both teams have a lot of holes to fill. The Mets have a lot of holes. That's on the first baseman right now. They still need more starting pitching. They still have to do things with this. They have to decide what they want to do with Mark Vientos. I think Vientos should be the third baseman. His value is there at third, in my view. His value is not anywhere else. You put him at first base, he's not an all-star. If he's a third baseman putting up that kind of production, he's an all-star. There's a lot of value there for him. Now we know the Mets signed Klay Holmes the other day, which I think is sort of that's a wait and see kind of move for the Mets, because the fallback is he can be the setup man here. That's not bad setup money for a pitcher that's been a pretty good closer, and he could start too. So we'll see what kind of. I meant to look at this earlier. Now, in the meanwhile, of course, please subscribe to this channel. And of course, like this video. It's curious to see Klay Holmes' time in the minor leagues, because I want to see, because he has 4 game starts that he had with the Pirates years ago. I want to see what his numbers were in the minor leagues. In particular, how many games started he had in the minors. I'm very curious about that. Let's see. He started a lot in the minor leagues. 114 starts in the minor leagues. So he's no stranger to starting. Most of the best relievers are guys that start anyway. And he's got a big repertoire going for him in terms of the kind of pitches he does. Does a lot of different pitches. So that is a very interesting situation with this thing with Klay Holmes. And I was not a big fan of Klay Holmes. I made fun of him a lot when he was the Yankees closer, but because he's not a closer, and he doesn't seem to have the sort of gumption that you want out of a closer. But if he's going to start games, if he's going to be able to sort of, go length, go 5-6 innings, then we'll see how he is. It's a different kind of mentality. Obviously, than from closing, because closing is a stressful job. It's the most stressful job in baseball. It's getting those last 3 outs. And I sort of made fun of him a lot. He was sort of now he had good numbers overall, but he blew a lot of because that game he blew last year in Miami basically kind of wrecked the season for the Yankees last year. Steven Dilcher, any news on Pete? No. Nothing. Nada. I have a whole big shtick with Pete. We're going to have a lot of fun with Pete. Hopefully, we'll get Pete back here, and we'll have, even if we don't have Pete here, we'll have videos on Pete anyway. I have something that I found that I forgot I had here all these years. Not in this house, but in the old house, and sort of came over from Queens to here. I'll be wearing it. Forgot I had it. But that'll be fun to do those kind of things. But no news on Pete. I've heard all these rumors. Jim Barron, who's a failed general manager, put out there that Seattle would be a great place for Pete. It would be the worst place for Pete. It's a terrible place for Pete Alonso to play. It's a big ballpark. It's not a great ballpark for Pete. Pete should stay away from Seattle. He really should. That's a place he should not go, because he will not hit home runs there. He will struggle to hit home runs there. Houston's a good place. He'll hit home runs there. Once he hit 500 home runs, he won't do it there. San Diego's sort of iffy. I don't think that's going to happen. Milwaukee, I haven't heard much from them. They're not going to make a big deal like that. The MLB channel haven't said nothing yet. This signing will happen tomorrow. Big Buddy, 2 of the biggest Mets beat guys have said that it's probably going to happen tonight. I'll say this again. Mike Puma who covers the Mets for the New York Post, who's a great beat guy, said it's going to happen tonight. It's a good possibility it's going to happen tonight. And little Andy Martino of SNY is going to happen tonight. Okay? The MLB channel. You mean the MLB network? Because channel means something else on YouTube, Big Buddy. Big Buddy has all the answers. But, the thing about Pete is that the places that he should go, just looking at it very objectively. Houston's a good place for him. Washington, believe it or not, is a good place for him because it's hot down there. Detroit, well, we'll see. But those are the two places. Big Buddy wants it to be over. Why? What is the rush? This is fun. I mean, talking about this stuff is fun. Everybody complaining about it's taking forever. It's been a month. Hold on, Adrian. Google. This baseball is fun. The off season is fun. It's not terrible. Hello, Bayonet. Didn't miss you. Didn't miss you. Say hello. How are you? But yeah. So like I said, tonight will be a big night, and we're going to find out where Soto goes. But obviously, he's been very quiet on Pete. We have heard nothing. Now, I would mention this, which I thought was important. I was thinking about this tonight, coming home. We've heard all kinds of rumors today about Teoscar Hernandez, that the three of the 5 teams are talking to him and rumored very heavy on him. The Yankees, the Dodgers, and I guess the Red Sox have all been talking to him heavily today. They've all been hot after him today. So that tells me that some of them don't seem to be too confident in their ability to sign him. That's Soto, I mean. So I'm starting to wonder, and we've not heard any kind of fallback spot for the Mets. We've not heard anything about the Mets, what their plan B is. I've heard a lot of people complain. I heard a lot of people on the radio. I heard a guy complain on the radio yesterday. On WFM, believe it or not, I was driving home. I wasn't listening to this garbage that I was watching. Listening to on WFM. Guy, his name is Boyle. Kept saying over and over, no backup plan, no plan B, plan B, like 50 million times. He must have said that like 10 times within 5 minutes. What's the backup plan? Because Willie Adames signed with the Giants. Just looking at it objectively, Willie Adames was not signing with the Yankees, and he certainly wasn't signing with the Giants because those two teams, folks, have shortstops, right? And he wasn't signing with those teams. He wasn't signing with the Mets. He wasn't signing with the Yankees. He wasn't going to go to third base. Stupid. So the backup plan, we've not heard anything from the Mets. Nothing. This tells you how different things are now from what it used to be. We used to hear about everything. Let's see. So hopefully soon. What time is it now? It's almost 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in New York. So getting close to finding out when this happens. Like I said, I hope this happens before 10 o'clock in the next hour. But this is been an interesting, watching this. People have been complaining about the money. I've mentioned this in other videos, last couple of live streams. This country is going through a heavy inflation rate. So if you want to know why, folks, 2 years ago, Aaron Judge got $350 million, and Shohei Ohtani got $700 million last year, and it looks like Soto's going to get $750 is because of inflation. Inflation is through the roof. If some people are saying they're getting butter for a pound of butter for $8 a pound. So the inflation is just off the charts, and nobody's mentioned it other than myself. Just sort of bringing up something that's such common sense. You want to know where the sort of, why the money's so unreal. Steven says Judge got $360 million, right? So he'll probably get double that, Soto. But that tells you a lot about where inflation is. That's why the money is so high. It's so high in baseball this year. And you see guys like Frankie Montas got $34 million from the Mets. and Klay Holmes got $38 million for 3 years. It's not, that explains and we got all this sort of, inflationary problems, but the years is also an issue too. That's a separate issue. It'll be interesting to see when the Mets go with Sean Manaea, because Sean Manaea is going to be looking for 4 years. And the Mets only seem to be willing to give up 3 years. And with Klay Holmes, they gave him 2 years and an opt-out. So the idea that the Mets are going to be, invested in wanting to bring in one of these bigger pitchers, I don't see it right now. I have not heard nothing about Corbin Burns. We heard nothing really about Blake Snell. I've heard nothing about really anybody that's got any kind of qualifying offer on them. I heard a little bit about Max Fried, but they seem to be, they don't want him. I wouldn't touch him. He's always hurt, and he's always a guy that he's a Brave. Keep away from guys that have been with the Braves. I got burned once, and we all got burned once with that asshole Tom Glavine. We don't want to get burned a second time. All right. What's this? Now, meanwhile, please subscribe and like this video. Let me update X for us so we have an idea of what we're at. Hope you like that setup. I just sort of came up with this setup in the last little bit. You see me in a circle, which is different. I think anyone else is doing this. It's just posted a little while ago by John Morosi. Crochet trade getting closer and could happen with the meetings. That's what Morosi's saying. Crochet is viewed as one of the top players who could be traded this offseason. Could that move be coming soon? The MLB Network insider John Paul Morosi reported on Sunday that a Crochet trade is getting closer and it is increasingly possible that he will be moved at the winter meetings. Interesting. That is really interesting. What the hell is this? Where the hell am I going here? Get back. So, Crochet is one of these guys. Let's see. As previous points this offseason, the Yankees, Dodgers, Mets, Orioles, Phillies, Padres, and Red Sox have all been linked to Crochet on December 4th. On December 4th, Morosi reported that the Cubs and Reds were just the latest teams who are candidates to acquire Crochet. Crochet is going to get moved. I mean, that's a pretty obvious thing. That's a pretty obvious thing. I mean, it looked like it wasn't going to get moved, and now it's definitely going to get moved. But I felt that way anyway. The Reds are so. I mean, the White Sox are so bad. The White Sox are so bad that they can't hold on to him or Luis Robert Jr. for that matter. Real quickly, before I forget, got 2 new Hall of Famers tonight. It's not just this channel, it's also a baseball channel, so it's called Baseball Hut. Dave Parker and Dick Allen got in the Hall of Fame tonight. Long overdue for both of them. Dick Allen passed away 4 years ago. He'd missed twice getting in by 2 votes, did not get in. One of the great players of the 60s and 70s. And Dave Parker, one of the great players of the 70s, he got in too. So the next guy on the list, because he needed 12 votes, was Tommy John. He was way behind. These other guys didn't even come close, but Tommy John had 7 votes. Tommy John should just get in based on his wins and the surgery. The fact that you had this revolutionary surgery named after him. Just because of that. He should be in the Medical Hall of Fame, too, by the way. Just checking through this a little bit. Yes, little Andy Martino. Little Andy Martino is reporting that the Mets. This is all going to be decided tonight. Juan Soto is imminent. Hopefully soon. We can move on to other things. But that seems to be the Mets' focus right now. It doesn't seem to be. I mean, they brought in Jose Siri because I think they kind of anticipated that they were going to have an outfielder next to him that wasn't going to be nearly as good defensively as to what they had last year. Obviously, Starlin, even if they don't bring in Soto, Starlin Marte is going to be out there. There will be other moves tonight or tomorrow or the next few days if Soto is with the Mets, because you can't have Marte here. I don't want him as a DH. I want to move on from him. Uh, he does have a salary that's not too crazy. You could probably eat some of it and move him. There's a lot of domino. There's a big domino effect with the Soto thing, with the Mets in particular. Because then it's like, well, where do they go from here? I was thinking the Mets are probably going to spend over $1 billion if they sign Soto, because you're going to get close to $1 billion with his contract, and then if you re-sign Pete, and if you bring in another starter, I do expect the Mets to bring in another pitcher. A Prodigy, Marte from Montgomery. I would have thought that A Prodigy, if they hadn't brought in the guys that they brought in, that's too many like projects. He's not a project per se, but he didn't have a good year last year. I was all for him until they thought about and made the move for Montas and made the move for Klay Holmes. Once they sign that, you can't have a third guy that is coming off a bad year and is basically salary dump for salary dump. I don't know if that's good business. There is talk that the Mets do have a shot at Roki Sasaki. I don't think that's going to happen, but I've heard that a little bit here and there. I think he'll probably sign with the Dodgers or the Padres still. The pitching market is a very interesting market. Obviously, we have Sean Manaea, who's pitched great last year after he sort of changed his arm slot and pitched more like Chris Sale. I would like to have him back. I don't know if the Mets are going to be willing to give him a fourth year unless they do opt-outs after the second and third year again with him. I don't know if that's something they want to do. But there's all kinds of talks. I posted a video on this morning or this afternoon about Nathan Eovaldi, Nick Pivetta, Walker Buehler. Those three in particular. And I would mention about Pivetta. He pitched for the Red Sox. He was 6-12. Forget about that record. He's one of these guys that if you get him in a different situation, you possibly could get him to really take a step forward as a pitcher. He could sort of be the new Sean Manaea this year for 2025. So he could be a different kind of piece for the Mets. But then again, that's another guy that's a sort of a project. Of all these on a project, you bring him in and you get to the postseason, he will pitch great. Don't doubt me. He's done it before. He'd do it again. Hold on, you drink. And Walker Buehler, I would sign him, but he's another guy. You have to be a little careful. All right. No. Ridiculous. Like I said about Walker Buehler is one of these guys that, again, he's a bit of a project because he hasn't pitched well and he's been hurt. So, but he pitched well in the postseason. Is he the kind of guy that, you want to spend a lot of money on? And again, you got Klay Holmes, who's going to be a project to see if he can start in the major leagues. And you got Frankie Montas, you're trying to get him to maximize his potential. You're basically saying you can try to do what you did last year. And at the same time, you're trying to keep the seats warm until some of these Met pitchers that they have in the minor leagues are ready. Like Brandon Sprout, Jonah Tong, Blade Tidwell, and a few other guys. So that's the Mets are trying to play around with. I don't know if it's something that they can do again. But Dave Stearns knows pitching. That's for damn sure. You refresh the page to see if there's anything new here. Probably nothing right now. Because you guys will be telling me what's going on. I want to ring that bell from when we get Soto. I want to ring this bell going crazy. Um, but we'll go through a lot of stuff here tonight. We'll go through all of sort of the free agents, the pitchers that are going to be up, and a lot of trades, a lot of signs that are going to take place. Expect a lot of player movement over the next couple of days. Very different than last year. Last year was a disaster in terms of who was getting moved, who was not getting moved. Hey, actually, let me put this up. Let me post this. The Dodgers, throughout the first 10 years under new ownership, never signed a pitcher to over 3 years. Really interesting. Very interesting. You know, the Mets are trying to develop their pitching in the minor leagues, and that's really what you want to do because one, it's cheaper, and the guys are not going to they're not going to break down. I mean, we saw with Scherzer and Verlander how quickly they broke down. So that's the one thing you got to understand. You can't be, going crazy, giving all this money out to players. Although they were willing to spend a lot of money on Yoshinobu Yamamoto last year, but he's 25 years old. He did have an injury history, and he got hurt during the season. So even though the Mets offered him the most money, as my computer's frozen. My computer freeze? My computer froze. No shock there. No shock there. I have to do something here. Let's see. Just end the. Okay, here we go. Sorry about the freezing here. I don't know what happened here, so I'll just I'll have this on the side to sort of let you know what's going on here. But always freezing here. I got such a crummy computer. So you guys send me super chats, super thanks to improve the equipment, continually to improve the equipment here. Yeah, so about an hour ago, Mike Puma said that the Mets, baseball world is going to find out where Soto is going to go tonight. And we will find out because now been confirmed with another source, and that's through little Andy Martino, that the Mets we're going to find out where Soto goes. I think he'll come to the Mets based on the fact that the Mets are going to give him the most money. Mets aren't afraid to spend the money. Steve Cohen is not afraid to spend that money. That's a damn sure. And we will see very soon, before we all go to bed, Viento, let's work on getting HUD a new computer. I mean, really. I mean, I have some good equipment. I got a great streaming light here. I think it looks really good. And I got a better situation here, in the house. And this room looks great. It came out really nice, and it's a little bit different than sort of all the sort of craziness that you see with all these other channels. All these other channels have all this sort of. I don't have it in the other room, because that room's getting painted. Link Owens, love me some please. But so you got to sort of become members of the channel and send me some super chats, some super thanks. It really helps a lot. Oh, wow. I got something, and I follow this account, and this is a pretty good account. This is Bill Madden, Hall of Fame writer from the New York Daily News. You all know Bill Madden. He just tweeted this out. Yankees deserve credit for apparently going well beyond their comfort zone at $750 to $760 million for Soto. But word now is Cohen is going to $800 million. Holy shit. And so he'll be alone. If he goes to $800 million, that's a deal. That's a deal maker. I mean, if Hal's not going to go there, Let me read this again. This is a reputable. This is This is a guy that knows. This is not these anonymous accounts, and this is a guy that knows the Yankees organization top to bottom. Yankee is from Bill Madden of New York Daily News and a Hall of Fame writer in the Baseball Hall of Fame. Yankees deserve credit for apparently going well beyond their comfort zone at $700 to $760 million for Soto. But word now is Cohen is going to $800 If so, he'll be alone. My goodness, $800 million. That's basically because of inflation, and plus he don't care. Cohen has $20 billion that he has. $20 billion to spend. Or $20 billion that he's worked. It's just insane. And people writing it to Bill Madden, and he was saying that he's fake. This is the guy. This is the guy, folks, to get information on when it comes to the Yankees and what's going on with the Mets. This guy, like I said, Hall of Famer. Hall of Famer. So this kind of, it says something different than when you have guys like, MLB Insider and MLB Marathon Guy and all these different anonymous accounts. This is a real guy. So the Mets are willing to go to $800 million. Wow. Insane. But they have to get him. Usually my attitude, when you get to this point, when you get to this kind of money, when you get this deep into it, you go all the way. Look. That's glug. It's like glug. It's glug. That's how I drink. You send this to a couple of my family members. One's gonna flip out. Yeah. So if it's $800 million, that's gonna happen. And the Mets are gonna get him. He'd be a fool not to take that money. And like I said, this is a Hall of Fame account. On his thing, it says New York Daily News baseball writer columnist since 1978. The 2010 J.G. Taylor Spink Award winner. Author 6 baseball books, including 1954 and Steinbrenner. And like I said, Hall of Fame writer. From A Prodigy, Soto will shift the balance in New York if he becomes a Met. Absolutely. If he doesn't come to the Mets and he stays with the Yankees, the Mets will be fighting. The Mets are rivals with the Yankees, but they take Soto away when they're not supposed to. But my relative just texted me back. He says, if that's true, then I can't say how they try. And how, they went as far as they could, but we'll see. Greg Zeman says $800 million, $50 million for 16 years. Some must be deferred. I would think so. Probably some of it is probably a big signing bonus, because we were hearing $90 million for a signing bonus, and that is not tax deductible here in New York State. So that's a lot of money. My God, that's a lot of money. I said the Mets were going to spend $1 billion this offseason. Most of it on him. And they bring back Pete. Then we'll have a lot of fun. Then we're going to have some fun here. We will see. But it's going to be fun if he signs here. We're going to have a lot of fun here. Oh, my goodness. And I'm going to mock every Yankee fan I see. Make fun of every Yankee fan I know. Even a couple relatives and some people at work. Some friends at work. And just have a lot of fun and really mock all the Yankee fans that have been on my case today. But we'll see. Don't want to put the Don't know anything. A Prodigy says Cohn owns art worth billions of dollars. Science sells like pennies to him. Yeah, yeah. I mean, he owns so many different things. He owns the 1986 ball from Game 6. Ball that went through Buckner's legs. Nobody knew that until he bought the team. So he owns stuff that we don't even know about. Um, Hopefully soon. Time's now 9:18. 9:18, folks. We will have an answer to this riddle, this question. Well, I want to put in a black pen for the Mets on my sheet. Where is he going to sign? And that is the big name. A Project says the Yankees had the 29th best farm system also. I would mention that if the farm system was so good, how come the Martian, Jason Dominguez, didn't play over Alex Verdugo this past offseason? I know that they always get rated very high, but their farm system, other than Anthony Volpe and Austin Wells, the catcher, their farm system is really quite crappy. And to be honest with you, Anthony Volpe is not the best defensive shortstop. The fact that he won a Gold Glove last year, I don't know how. I don't know how he did that. Don't know how, for any reason, how he got that last year. So the Yankees have issues. I mean, the Yankees are an older team. Okay, Mets are not really necessarily an older team. They were an older team. They're getting younger. Soto's 26. Horseface is what, 32? Garrett Cole is 34. So you got older stars on that team. How many more years does Aaron Judge have? 4 more years? And Soto will be in the middle of his prime. A Project says Cashman's going to retire in 2 years, and Cashman's going to retire in 2 years. David Stearns isn't going anywhere. Even though he has 4 more years on his 5-year contract, I don't expect him to be out of here for the next 10 years. He's going to be here for a long time. If he does a good job, and he'll probably have more responsibilities as he goes along, I don't expect him to go anywhere. And I don't expect the manager to go anywhere either, quite frankly. The manager's 44 years old. He's not going anywhere. So the Mets have a young manager, still a young general manager. They have a young farm system. I mean, they don't have any major stars. But they have good farm system. Steven says Conforto to the Dodgers. Really? Let me take a look. Michael Conforto went to the Dodgers? See. Wow. Interesting. I did not have him down. Michael Conforto went to the Dodgers. That's interesting. You know what that tells you, folks? That tells you that the Dodgers are out. And that means that Teoscar Hernandez is probably out too, because they'll put him in right field. Wow. That's interesting. I like Michael as a guy, he seems like a nice guy, but as a player, he drives me nuts. Wow. That is an interesting move by the Dodgers. It tells you that they're out. The Dodgers are not signing Soto. Wow. Interesting. A Prodigy says the Dodgers have another outfield spot open. That's interesting. Not for Soto though. Yeah. I mean, he could play left field, right field. Michael's a very good outfielder. I don't know how he's been over the last few years in San Francisco. I know he's dealt with a lot of leg injuries, but that's a guy that could use to go. That he definitely could go to a good lineup. He needs to be in a good lineup, so he could be protected and not have as much pressure on him as he had with the Mets. He had a lot of pressure on him with the Mets, and he did great in the beginning, but there were struggles. When there's real pressure on him to perform, he struggled. Takes a lot of pitches. Sometimes he takes too many pitches. I mean, he's much better version than Vogelback. May he never be seen again in baseball. He's probably done in baseball, but Michael Conforto to the Dodgers. That's interesting. Because I had him, I was predicting that he would go to the Mariners because obviously he's from there. This is from the Munchkin Ken Rosendahl. Dodgers still in on the Teoscar Hernandez, sources say. Conforto left-handed hitter and Hernandez right-handed hitter. Okay, we all knew that, Munchkin. We all knew that. We all knew that. But that's a good move for him. I mean, he's sort of been in obscurity to the last few years. I mean, he's had a lot of bad. He made a really bad decision with the Mets, Michael. I mean, to be honest with you, he was a guy that he should have signed. He had a 5-year, $100 million contract on the table from the Mets, and he didn't sign it. And it's like, why? Why didn't you sign it? It didn't make sense then, and it doesn't make any sense now. It's a real shame that he basically burned 3 years of his career. Didn't sign the contract with the Mets. Got hurt, and he got hurt practicing. It was a very mysterious mystery, a very mysterious injury that he had. And now you got him having to play the last 2 seasons with the Giants and kind of in obscurity. People sort of forgot that he was there. And now he's going to the Dodgers. It's a good move for him. And he's, like I said, and he's left-handed. So in all likelihood, Soto is not going to the Dodgers. So now this was a small domino that might have an effect now to the market. The Dodgers are probably saying, "Uh-oh, we're not going to get Soto," which I got very nervous with that crazy account the other night. Yeah, now they're all posting it now. MLB Rumors has it. He'll be a thorn in the postseason when the Mets have to face the Dodgers again next year. Because he is tough in postseason. He'll hit home runs. Now, please, of course, like this video and hit the subscribe button. Hopefully, we'll have a resolution tonight on the Mets and Juan Soto tonight. We do know one thing. Mothman, the Bill Man is a legit guy. I mean, he is legit. Like I said, people on there complain about him, and that's what they do on X. But that is a legit account. He's a legit guy. Serious reporter. And if he's saying the Mets have gone to $800 million and how it's gone up to $750, take that to the bank. Mothman Evolved says, I kept preaching $800 million. Oh, you must have known something I didn't know. I didn't think the Mets would go that high. Michael's getting a 1-year deal. Michael Conforto's getting a 1-year deal. This light down a little bit. A little too bothering my eyes a little bit. It seems that Michael Conforto's getting a 1-year deal worth $17 million. For 1 year. That's a surprise, because I hadn't heard the Dodgers. I didn't really hear anybody. I just put some names down of teams. I did hear the Pirates, though. There are plenty of teams that could want a professional hitter like Michael. Mothman Evolved says, shock to the Dodgers. A little bit. And like I said, that also means that, it also means that they're probably out on Soto because he's a left-handed hitter. Hold on, I need a drink. Look. Yeah, so Conforto's now with the Dodgers, which is interesting. And we got a whole bunch of players that are going to go. I mean, we got a whole bunch of players here. Juan Soto. Go run down to the teams: the Mets, the Yankees, the Blue Jays, the Dodgers, and the Red Sox. Corbin Burns. I'll say the Mets are probably out on him. I wouldn't think that, but I've heard the Yankees, the Phillies, Boston, the Cubs, Baltimore, San Francisco. Tomorrow, I've heard San Francisco a lot today. Wolfman Evolve agrees with your host. I think that takes the Dodgers out there, 100% not getting Soto. Yes, I agree. Yes. I agree with you. Agreeing with me. That doesn't seem like that's happening now. I think Corbin Burns, just looking at it, the Giants are heavy on him because they made that big deal with Adames yesterday. So I think he'll go to the Giants. Pete Alonso, I don't think that this deal has anything to do with Pete. Pete can very well come here, even if Soto's here or he's not here. I think they probably told people we were going to focus on Soto or not. It's probably unspoken. And word is that Pete wants to come back. We'll see. But if he doesn't come here, I think he'll go to the Nationals. But believe it or not, Seattle's a terrible place for him to go. Or Houston would be a good place for him to go. Seattle's a terrible place. He should stay away from there. Alex Bregman. What's this? This is just an MLB alert. I got the app on my phone. I got the MLB app on my phone. And they tell me the Conforto signed. That he signed with the Dodgers. But, yeah, so we got Bregman. I think Bregman's going to re-sign with the Astros. I'm surprised he didn't. That's the perfect place for him. Or he could go to Detroit. That's a place I could see him going to. But I know I think he was the one. Wasn't he the one that was in Washington a couple weeks ago watching the Commanders? I believe he was there. Willie Adames signed with the Giants. 7 years, $182 million. Now, that is an interesting contract because some of these other players could come below that. For instance, Pete's not going to get $182 million. He turned down a $150 million contract last year. So it'll be interesting to see where his money goes. Not so much the years, but the money. I can see him getting a 5, 6, 7-year deal from any team, specifically from the Mets. But what kind of money does he get? I would think it would be under what Damas got. I'm thinking probably between the $150, $175 million range. That's what I think. Bregman, based on his pedigree, based on his age, he could probably get in the range with Adames. You know, his power is taking a step back. His RBI total is taking a step back, but he's a winning player. He's been in big games. He could teach a team how to win. Steven Dilcher, what about Pete going to the Marlins? The Marlins, no. He wouldn't do that. He'd get traded the first year. He'd have to get a complete total no trade clause. Does he want to play in front of nobody? There's nobody down there that cares about baseball. They don't care. They really don't care. He'd stay away from anything dealing with Florida, anything dealing with the Marlins, anything dealing with the Rays. The Rays are homeless. They have no ballpark now. They have no stadium. He should stay away from that part of the country. There's no baseball down in Florida. Nobody cares about them down there. Pete's a high-energy guy, and he'll get traded anyway. So I'm the Marlins. Never heard once the Marlins. Shane Bieber re-signed with the Guardians on a 1-year deal. I guess he got an option. That's a smart move. Let's see. Let's just update my phone here. Who's next? We got Jack Flaherty. Where's he going to go? Jack Flaherty has a couple teams in on him. Possibly going back to the Dodgers, maybe the Mets, the Angels, the Yankees, and the Tigers. I can see him going back to the Tigers. From what I heard, they kind of pressured him. The Tigers kind of pressured the agent for Flaherty kind of pressured the Tigers to trade him to Los Angeles. Now, I would mention, John Boy says, I think it was more than $100 million that the Mets offered him. With Pete Alonso was $150. You mentioned that early on a couple of weeks ago with Juan Soto. The word was whatever the highest bid was going to be for Juan Soto, Steve Cohen was going to add another $50 million. So this tweet that Bill Madden put out just a little while ago about the money, it seems to be in line from what we heard. Hal's offering him about $750 The Mets are going to give him 800. So that's in line. I'm glad you mentioned the money. I guess that's for Pete. But Pete was offered $150 million. Blake Snell, the sloth, signed with the Dodgers. Sung Kim. I haven't heard much of him. I heard Seattle, the Angels, the White Sox, Houston, San Diego, and Detroit. Why anyone wants to sign with the White Sox and you're in the middle of your prime? Must be desperate for money. Must be desperate for money. Let me just see any updates. I wonder if Conforto's money is deferred. KR119% says Arenado would round out defense. Look, he's a great defensive player still, Nolan Arenado, but he can't hit like he used to. Okay. I don't know where he's going to go. He's got a very limited trade market, and he has a no trade clause. I think he'll go to the Dodgers, but I don't know if, and they're not going to get much for him. That's for sure. Anthony Santander, haven't heard anything from his market. Nothing. Would mention Willie Damas. He's got a qualifying offer. Juan Soto, the Mets signed him. They have to give a 4th-round pick to the Yankees. If they lose Pete, they get a 4th-round pick in return. They do get a 4th-round pick for Luis Severino signed with the Athletics. The ghetto nomad homeless Athletics. They get a draft pick for Luis Severino, which was pretty good. I would not have given him 3 years, by the way, especially with his injury history. Let me jump down. Max Fried. Anthony Santander. I would say that he'll go to. I think he'll go. I'm pretty consistent. I'll say he'll go to the Royals. I think the Royals are going to be very active. They re-signed Michael Wacha early in the offseason. They're going to be a pretty good team next year. They were good last year. Oh, okay. KR119 percentage. Let's see him allergic to task. I don't know what that means. That's the first time we ever talked about him in this channel. But you seem to think that they do. But Max Fried, he's got a qualifying offer. I've heard the Yankees and the Red Sox prominently over the last few days. If I were the Mets, stay away from him. He's got an injury history. He's a Brave. You stay away from him. Toxic. You stay away from any Brave if you're a Met. In the Met front office. Carlos Estevez. Haven't heard much from him. Heard the Phillies, the Rangers, the A's, Toronto, the Yankees, the Cubs. The Yankees could use him. The Yankees could use a couple guys on my list. Him being one, the other guy being Kenley Jansen. They need a closer. Luke Weaver did an okay job, but they need a real professional closer. Paul Goldschmidt, I think he'll go to Arizona. Pretty consistent on that. Kyle Hendricks signed with the Angels. Not a big deal. Aroldis Chapman signed with the Red Sox. Christian Walker got a qualifying offer. I've heard him connected a lot with the Mets. The Yankees I've heard. Cubs early on. Cleveland, Milwaukee, certainly could use a first baseman. Detroit, Baltimore, Houston, Seattle, and the Giants. Keep an eye on him. He might have a very interesting market, as he's not going to cost that much money. Walker Buehler. We talked about him, and I talked about him early in the video this afternoon. I would not have a problem with them signing him to a 2-year deal. Get the kind of deal that you got with Sean Manaea. He's coming off major injuries. He did not pitch well last year. Maybe coming in here, get them in the Mets pitching lab, get him turned around. I think he can have a big year. He's got ace-like stuff. He's been an ace his whole career. He pitched one postseason. He's an interesting case for the Mets. But do you want to do another sort of reclamation project or sort of a project in your rotation? When you have Kodai Senga, who's been hurt, was hurt last year, a lot of question marks about his injury history, especially when they signed him. They signed him for less money because of his injury history that he had in Japan. Uh, and so that's something to keep an eye on. He was hurt last year, past season, missed most of the season, pitched terrible in the postseason. Mets should never had him on the roster. Never should have had him pitch. Killed him in game one against the Dodgers. Killed him. But that's why you got to be careful with who you bring in next. That's why I say the Mets are probably going to make a trade because they need to make a trade. Then you know how much money you're going to get. You want to get a guy that has some stability in terms of and some durability. A guy like Luis Castillo's got is durable, and you probably would not have to give up nearly as much and he's 30-something years old. You wouldn't have to give up nearly as much for him as you would say, for instance, Garrett Crochet. Garrett Crochet is going to cost a lot in terms of prospects. I don't know if I want to dump all these prospects on one player, in particular pitcher that's only had one full season in the majors as a starter, and he's been a reliever most of his career. That makes me very nervous, and especially coming out of Tommy John surgery. Just found out Michael Conforto signed with the Dodgers. Surprisingly, it's a surprise move tonight, which probably gets them out of the Juan Soto sweepstakes. Franny Montas signed with the Mets. Carlos Correa, his name is popped up in trades. It seems like the Twins are trying to pair off money, trying to get rid of money, because that contract they signed with him was pretty bad. I've heard the Dodgers with him. That would be interesting. That'd be a lot of drama there. The Yankees and the Mets, I'd stay away from him just due to the fact that he's got this terrible injury history with that bad foot. Tyler O'Neill, son of the Orioles. Justin Wilson, son of the Reds, are early on. Showman I's got so many teams on him. Either he'll go to the Mets or I can see him going to the Red Sox. Red Sox have been talked about with him for a long time, and the Red Sox will start to get a little desperate. They might give him a fourth or fifth year. I can see them definitely doing that. Maybe give themselves opt-outs in case he doesn't pitch well. Luis Severino, son of the Athletics. Jose Quintana. I've heard nothing with Jose Quintana. He'll get a good contract with somebody. Probably get a 1 or 2 year deal. He's a good pitcher. Let me just sort of put it this way. He either pitches really well or he pitches really crappy. There's no in between with Quintana. And I went to go see him in Philadelphia. He pitched great that night. But then there are times he doesn't pitch so well. Steve says Giants know they need to spend on good players to compete in a very tough NL West. Buster Posey has some job ahead of him. He has some job ahead of him. He either has to spend money or they're not going to compete against the Dodgers. And they are their ancient rival. They cannot fall behind to the Dodgers. They cannot. That does not look good, folks. That doesn't look good at all. Let's see. Teoscar Hernandez. Where's he going to go? Seems like he might be going back to the Dodgers. There was a lot of talk with the Yankees. I put the Yankees down because he might be the fallback for the Yankees. I think he will sign after Soto signs. I think a lot of dominoes are starting to fall now with these teams. Conforto's a little domino. Teoscar Hernandez could be a bigger domino going forward. If he signs the Dodgers, then you know, or if he signs the Yankees, you know that the Yankees are out when it comes to Soto. If Soto doesn't come out first. Now, it's now 9:41 here, Eastern Standard Time here in New York City, and still no word on Soto. Whew, an hour into the show. No word on Soto. Who's next? Gleyber Torres. I've heard Seattle, Detroit, the Yankees. That would be great. He went to the Yankees. They don't re-sign Soto, but they re-signed Gleyber Torres. That'd be great. Oh man, I would laugh my ass off if that happened. Nathan Eovaldi. I mentioned him earlier today. I heard the Mets, the Yankees, Baltimore, San Francisco to re-sign with the Rangers. Heard the Braves. The Braves, the Phillies, and Boston. John Boy says Pete Day offered $158 million. Conforto's more like $100 million. Yeah, that's terrible. I mean, he should have signed that deal with the Mets, Michael. That's terrible. Just did a terrible job with his free agency. Terrible. There's no reason for him not to sign that deal with the Mets. That was, he had a perfect situation here, you know. And look at all the winning that he missed out on the last 3 years. Mets won 101 games 2 years ago. Went to the NLCS this year. He could have enjoyed all that. We wouldn't have had Starlin Marte here, by the way. We probably wouldn't even be talking about Juan Soto at this point if he signed that contract. Travis Darnell signed with the Angels. Yusi Kikuchi signed with the Angels. Jeff Hoffman. Jeff Hoffman. I've heard that the Phillies are interested in bringing him back. I've heard that today. Klay Holmes signed with the Mets. Matt Boyd signed with the Cubs. John Peterson, keep an eye on him in case they don't re-sign Jesse Winker. I've heard the Mets with Peterson, Toronto, Arizona, and Cleveland. Andrew Haney, I've heard the Giants, the A's, Texas, and the Washington Nationals. Nick Pivetta, we heard about him today with the Mets. I did a video on him. Boston, he's got a qualifying offer from Baltimore. I don't know if the Mets want to give up a prospect, a draft pick for him. Don't know. A.J. Minter, the reliever. I've heard the Mets, the Cubs, the Dodgers, and the Phillies. He can go anywhere. He's a reliever, left-handed. Nick Martinez, he signed with the Reds. Tomoyuki Sugano, he's from Japan. Texas, the Angels, Brewers, and the Mets. Roki Sasaki. He should be posted over the next couple of days. Teams will have 45 days to sign him. He will not get a major league deal like $400 million, $300 million like Yamamoto got last year. He will get sort of a basic contract for an amateur player. So he'll get like a 6-year contract with a minimum amount. And probably big signing bonuses or whatever. But it'll be part of the international bonus pool, international drafting pool and bonus pool. But we got the Dodgers, the Mets, the Yankees, Phillies, San Diego, San Francisco, Seattle, Toronto, and the Angels. I think he's probably going to the Dodgers, but who knows? The agent came out and said they were saying that the Dodgers weren't a favorite for him. That he was very open to all the teams, which is probably smart to say that. I hope I say his name right. I think I've been saying his name right. Shinozuki Ogasawara. He's a left-handed pitcher from Japan. Starter. Milwaukee, San Diego, believe it or not, the Mets, Cleveland, and the A's. I haven't heard much about him of late. Haven't heard that much about him. Alec Bohm. Heard a lot about him. Seattle, St. Louis, and the Angels. He's going to get traded. The Phillies have had enough. They've had up to here with that guy. He's going to be gone. Garrett Crochet. He's going to get moved. Boston, Baltimore, the Dodgers, the Mets, Cincinnati, the Cubs, the Phillies, and the Milwaukee Brewers. I would also put into this the Yankees for no other reason than the Yankees. Ryan Helsley, I've heard Arizona, but I don't think they're going to move him now. He's with the Cardinals. Jojo Romero, I've heard. John King. Carl Santana, I've heard the Yankees. Harrison Bader, I've heard the Tampa Bay Rays. Alex Verdu, I've heard Texas. J.D. Martinez, who's been very quiet, but I did hear the Twins a couple of weeks ago. Kenley Jansen, I've heard Pittsburgh, Atlanta. I'll put the Phillies here too. I'll put the Phillies there. It seems like Dave Dombrowski doesn't have a problem bringing these veteran relievers. And I'll put the Yankees there too. That's a future Hall of Famer that I don't know how the Mets have never hit him the way they should have. Guy doesn't throw hard, doesn't have great stuff, but he gets people out. It doesn't make sense to me. Let's take a look through X. See if we got any updates here. I'm glad I followed Bill Madden. I'm ahead of that before everybody else was. Blake Trinan, going back to the Dodgers. Danny Columbe, Diamondbacks. Jordan Montgomery for the Mets, the Yankees. Any team that'll take that money. Maybe the Dodgers, who knows. The Giants. Let's see. Noah Arenado. I can see him going to the Phillies, certainly. The Yankees, the Mets, the Giants, Although maybe not the Giants now because unless they poop move the first, I don't think that's going to happen. I'll scratch them off. The Dodgers and the Houston Astros. They'll get him if they don't resign Bregman. Wilson Contreras. Wilson, come back. Sorry, Wilson. I don't have a team attached to him, but he's a winning player. Some team will want him. Sonny Gray, I've heard the Twins. I'm back to the Twins, the Giants. Like I said, the Twins are paring down their payroll. The Dodgers, the Cubs, the Mets, I would say no on the Mets. Now I got a bunch of qualifying offer guys, Brent Honeywell, Austin Hayes, Kyle Finnegan. Kyle Finnegan will get a good contract from a team. I can put a whole bunch of teams' names on this one. I can put Arizona. I can put the Yankees. I can put the Phillies. I can put the Braves. Who else? Who else is good enough to... He's good. He's a good closer. He's not a great closer. He's a good closer. Pittsburgh, definitely. The Mets won't sign him because they always have Klay Holmes on the side. They need a guy that can do that. Cal Quantrill, Brendan Rodgers, Colin Pooch, Jacob Webb, JT Chargers, John Romero, a couple of trade candidates from the Rays, Jeffrey Springs, Pete Fairbanks. I've heard Josh Naylor getting moved. He getting traded by the Guardians. Seattle, Houston. And he had a good year. I didn't realize he's got a lot of power, that guy. The Yankees and the Mets. Lane Thomas could be on the move again. He was picked up in a big trade with the Nationals. Cody Bellinger, I think, is going to get moved. I've heard Houston, Seattle, and the Yankees. Devin Williams, we can't forget about him. He's going to get moved. He's on the last year of his deal. I'll put a bunch of teams' names here. The Phillies, Atlanta. That'd be terrible if we went to Atlanta. Basically the same teams I put down for Kyle Finnegan. Arizona, the Yankees, certainly. Well, maybe not Pittsburgh, but I'll put Pittsburgh there. Pittsburgh's an interesting team because they got such great pitching, great young pitching. It'll be interesting to see what they do there. Ryan Presley, I heard his name pop up. He's a good middle reliever, a good eighth inning guy and been a good closer there up until they got Josh Hader. John Boy says, who's interested in James McCann? Nobody. Seems like you are, John Boy. He's a free agent. Some team that wants a backup catcher is going to want him. A bad team will want him. I follow this great YouTuber on X. I've been on his channel. He entertains. He's got a big Giants channel, and he's a big Met fan. He's like, Juan Soto, make your decision. I want to go to bed. I want to go to bed, though. It's on 9:51. And again, we're an hour behind Dallas. Because Dallas now is 8:51. Hope we'll get some kind of resolution tonight. If we don't, probably tomorrow when I'm working. That's when we'll get the resolution. That's probably what will happen. I can guarantee that one. That I can guarantee. Probably tomorrow. When the Mets made the trade for Lindor, I was off for 2 weeks. I was sick for 2 weeks. And when I went back to work the first day, I went back to work. It's when they made the Lindor trade. I couldn't do a video. I was so mad. KR119% says, should Mets finally invest money in bullpen? Bullpens are a prickly thing. You're better off, you know how you invest in your bullpen? You build a very good farm system. Okay, this is what James said. This is really quite interesting. Sign Soto, bring back Pete, sign Walk Buehler, bring back Banana, and trade for Castillo, and we're ready to roll for next year. Call it off season. Let me read this again. Banana. Banana. I guess you said Manaya. That's what you meant. Before you send these messages out, make sure you get the right. It's not a typo because I will read it like that. This is from Mark Feinsand. This is an interesting update on the Michael Conforto thing. The Conforto sign does not take the Dodgers out of Teoscar Hernandez, per our sources. Duh. No kidding. He's right-handed. I said that earlier. I didn't need sources to tell me that. I need sources for that. That's for sure. So, we're just sort of waiting here. See what's going to happen with Soto. And hopefully we'll have a resolution to this. Get some sleep. One way or the other. And again, this has been a month of rumors and videos, and I hope you enjoyed the videos. I like doing them. Let's see. No updates yet. But if anybody's in the chat and you see any updates on anything, any signs, let me know. That's how I found out about Conforto. So tomorrow, hope we'll have this resolved tonight, and we'll have a big video, just a big show tonight, which we're having right now. And then hopefully we'll see what we can do tomorrow. I'm going to be on as late as I can be on. I'll probably take a break in a few minutes, though, just to stretch my legs out. Maybe get a piece of cake. I'm sitting here. But, so this is what deal is. The Mets still have work to do. They don't have a first baseman. They do have a hole in the outfield. I don't really trust Marte at his age and the injury history. Mets need more pitching. They could use 2 more starters in this rotation. I would like to see and see what happens with the bench. But the bench is a minor thing. They can do that whenever they want to do that. That's not a big deal. But this lineup is an interesting lineup. The Mets have Thump in this lineup with Marte. With Vientos and Lindor. And we'll see if they bring back Pete. I've heard nothing about Pete. I've heard nothing about Pete Alonso. Nothing. So hopefully we'll have some kind of resolution on him fairly soon. Really, the 2 teams I see with him is Seattle and the Nationals. Stay away from Seattle. Folks, you should stay away from it. That's what they should do. Stay away from that. That makes no sense because he won't hit that great there. Now, of course, please like this video and subscribe to the Baseball Hut. Do things a little more informally here. I actually talk to you folks. I don't like, not like the other channels that don't talk to you. I like to talk to the chat. I'm going to do a couple of things here. See what's going on here. So I like to talk to the chat. It's a little bit different than the other shows. They just sort of blather on. I do not do that. Very different. Reynaldo says someone on YouTube said Mets offer $800,000. Okay, that's nothing. Someone on YouTube was me. I got the tweet from Bill Madden, who was a writer with the New York Daily News, and he's a Hall of Fame writer. And I follow him on X, and I said here, that's probably heard it, and all these other clowns are behind. Everybody's behind me. Okay, I'm the trendsetter, believe it or not. So, I set the trends here, believe it or not. Doesn't seem like that, but I do. Head of the game with everything. But I said, Bill Mann said that about an hour ago. Let me see when he said this. And I brought it here to you on here. About 45 minutes ago, I mentioned it here on the show. And he doesn't post too many. He doesn't put too many X posts out. So this is an unusual thing for him, and he's in the know. So there's one guy that knows what's going on with New York baseball. It's him, even more so than any of these other guys. More than a little Andy Martino, more than Mike Puma. He's a guy that's been around a long time, 50 years, and he still writes. So he's very relevant. and the fact that he'll probably be the one that'll get the credit. I would hope he gets the credit. And we do know that during the week, the rumor came out that the Mets were very interested in signing Juan Soto to an additional $50 million if that's what it took to get him. So if the Yankees offer 750, then the Mets will offer him 800 million, just based off of what we heard during the week. So that's what's different here than what we've heard with other teams. I think the Dodgers are out. I think the Dodgers are out. Just based on the fact that they signed Michael Conforto tonight, and they seem to be. I turned the light off for a few minutes. It's really bothering my eyes. You get to see me in the dark, for a couple minutes, but I think that they're out of the situation with Soto. I don't think they're going to sign Soto because they signed Michael Conforto. There's all rumors tonight that they're probably going to re-sign Hernandez tonight, or they're going to sign him. And if that's the case, then that's it. But we'll see. Mets had such a great season last year. You forget that it was just a month and a half ago that the Mets season was over, and now we're all into this, and people getting all anxious about it. Let me just go through a couple of things here. Now, again, please like this video and subscribe to the Baseball Hut as we wait and we can prepare ourselves for Juan Soto being with the New York Mets. Yeah, so now NewJersey.com Sports, they're reporting now that the Mets have offered an additional $50 million to Juan Soto. So it's crazy. We'll see. No updates yet. But this is what we got to sort of wait through, And I would mention tomorrow's really the first day of the winter meetings. Today, everybody's sort of getting down there. And they said that he was going to decide before tomorrow. Haba Brave says, I feel like the longer the Soto thing drags, the less he is not going to be a Met. But that's just being a pessimistic Met fan. Hobnobbing. Haba Brave. I never mentioned it's that great name. Hob. Where's the chicken sandwich that guy? He's usually here on the live streams. He's usually here tonight. He's usually watching my shows. He's not here tonight. He's usually here. Where is he? Where's the irresistible chicken sandwich? He always lets his presence known. He's not here tonight. He's probably one of these bigger shows. But excuse me. But we'll be back again. We'll be back again tomorrow. Hopefully we'll have the news tonight on Soto. But again, what's going on down in Dallas? They're an hour behind us. So that's the one thing we do know is that they're an hour behind. So right now it's 8. Well, that's 9:01. It's on 10 o'clock now. 10:01 Eastern Standard Time, and it's 9:01 down there. So it's no rush. Obviously, he's not in any rush to sign just yet. Trying to get every dollar out of the Mets. But I feel pretty good. I felt pretty good about this the whole time. I would tell you if I didn't feel that way. Because the Mets had the money to spend, and they waited all year to prepare themselves to sign this guy. That's why they didn't sign anybody last year. And it wasn't a good market last year anyway. This market's pretty damn good. This is a great market, boy. You see the money going for these players, and they're good players. These aren't like last year was sort of just a mishmash, a grab bag of losers last year, and a couple of good players. Not many good players. We know that Altani was on there, but that he was signing with the Dodgers. Everybody knew that. That's for sure. But it'd be interesting to see what happens here now. Obviously, Michael Conforto went to the Dodgers tonight. It's funny, Bill Mann's trending. Bill Mann is trending. That's funny. Just because he mentioned that the Mets are going to go $800 million. Crazy. Now, please, of course, like this video and subscribe. And we want a little bit longer. If I end the live stream and the Mets have not been announced as the team that he's going to, then I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. Probably do a video in the middle of the night. I don't have to be work too early tomorrow, but I do have to work tomorrow. Hoping we'll have this resolved in a little bit. I was hoping to have this resolved in the last hour. My goodness, just pick a team already. You're going to get a lot of money no matter what. And he's going to get a lot of money with endorsements and everything else. Just sign it already. Just announce it already. You know? Now, it's funny, I'm more irritated now than I was in the last few weeks. Just want to get this over with. You know what I mean? Get on to the next thing. Let me see. Checking out his Instagram, nothing updated. We'll see what happens here. Again, please subscribe and like this video. And again, like I said, I'll be back tomorrow night, and a great live stream here in the studio. I'll be back in on Tuesday. We probably have a longer show on Tuesday. And I'll be home on Wednesday to really cover all the happenings there, on all the goings ons down in Dallas. So I will cover you here. So, and I'll try to do my best to get a video out to you tomorrow. As long as this live stream is going, I have nothing right now for tomorrow because everything is kind of waiting on Soto. So there probably won't be a video unless I do a video early in the morning before I go into work, which I really don't want to have to do. But then I got to do it in my car, and it's a pain in the neck. It takes a long time to edit on the phones. It's just a headache. But we'll see how that goes. But everything sort of happens. Hey, do you have a max for Soto dollar amount? It's unlimited at this point. Unlimited. Renault says Soto will look cool in blue and orange. That's right. Those are cool numbers. Those are cool colors. Number 22. Number 22 is a very lucky number in Mets history. That's a good number to have if you're a Met. Because Al White had that number. Kevin McReynolds had that number. He's a good player with the Mets. Ray Knight had that number. MVP in the World Series. And, of course, Don Clendenin had that number when he played for the Mets many, many moons ago. But we wonder and figure out what's going on here. Again, I'll be back again tomorrow on a live stream. Be on probably around the same time. Around the same time. It won't matter where he signs. The show will go on. If he goes back to the Yankees, the show goes on. If he signs the Blue Jays, the show must go on. If he signs this mystery, quote-unquote mystery team I've heard tonight, the show must go on. We will continue on, and I won't be screaming like a crazy person, like I said, like some of these other channels do when it comes to players don't sign here. Remember that one streamer, that one YouTuber that was punching all the furniture in the background and completely just had a total meltdown? That guy, he was a real nut. And then that other YouTuber who'll go nameless, start cursing the blue streakers and sign. That's because of Trevor Bauer, by the way. I said, don't sign that guy. It's an effing goofball. I try not to be right. But I think the Mets will sign Soto tonight, or they'll sign him. Hopefully he decides in the next hour. My goodness. Let's get it over with. Get it over with. Righty, man. But how's the chat doing otherwise? How's the chat doing tonight? Hope the chat's doing well. It's been a lot of people have been stressed out. LOL, you're going to scream off camera. I don't even raise my voice. I never raise my voice. Never scream and never yell. The only time you've seen me yell is when the Mets were winning those games. Pete hit that home run. You heard me yell. That's about as loud as I get. I don't scream otherwise Uh, I won't scream. Believe me, I won't scream. Won't punch. I won't punch the furniture in the back. I don't have no furniture back here behind me anyway. There's no furniture here, other than this table here and my printer here. You know, but and my nice little cabinet I got here that holds it. But yeah, I don't scream. I don't yell. I'm not gonna curse up a blue streak if Soto doesn't sign with the Mets. And I'm not gonna say this was a failed off season. Like Spaz Licata has been threatening. If he doesn't sign with the Mets, it's a failed offseason. You don't talk stupid like that. He said last year was a failed offseason. Who cares about the offseason? Jake Costa, 8. Loves Soto, but $800 million for someone with no MVP, a gold glove, and has no van the base path. Base paths is crazy. Mike Piazza was one of those guys. Jay Costa, 8. You know, you don't have to have all those awards to be a great player. Okay, he's won a batting title. That has value. He's won. Jay Costa, when Soto won a World Series with the Nationals. Okay. And Judge did not play well in the World Series. He played terribly. He cost them Game 5. Okay, I don't care about Horseface. Horseface is a disaster in the postseason. He strikes out half of his at-bats. Aaron Judge is not Francisco Lindor, okay? And I'm very critical of Lindor. You know. And if it wasn't for Giancarlo Stanton, they wouldn't have gotten to the World Series. If it wasn't for Soto, they wouldn't have gotten to the World Series. And it's money. It's just money. Would mention again, obviously you're new. The reason it's $800 million is so high is because we have inflation in the United States right now. It's so bad. That's why 2 years ago, Aaron Judge got $360 million, and that's why it went to $700 million last year with Ohtani, and now it's up to $800 million this year with Soto. Okay? So that's the reason why the money is so high. Jay Costa says, I hate saying this, but he'd be best with the Sox. He wants to add rings. Sox, when they make it to the World Series, don't lose. Excuse me? They didn't win in 86 years, man. That's not a good reason. They hadn't won in 86 years. Okay. Mets are the Mets. All right, you're out of here. All right. This guy's a Red Sox scum. You're out of here. I don't like the internet stupidity. Skadoosh! Off to the Phantom Zone. Jay Costa, 8. He's just a Red Sox fan. He's just a Red Sox fan. And I would mention about the Red Sox fans. The Red Sox fans are the biggest jerks. We have it! We have it! Juan Soto to the Mets from John Heyman. $765 million for 15 years. Ding, ding, ding. It is done. It is done. Now we start mocking my family. $765 million. Holy shit. Batman. Wow. Juan Soto to the New York Mets. And the Yankee fans will cry and cry and cry. Don't doubt your host, the great one. I was on this for a year, that he was going to be here with the Mets. He was going to be here with the Mets. And we got a number 3 hitter. Now we're set now. He's 26 years old. I said the Mets were going to get him. Mets are going to get him, and they got him. $765 million for 15 years. Wow. Family members are quiet. Well, it has happened. It has happened. It has happened. And I'm going to go to bed. I'll probably do a video later discussing this. This is about as big of a deal as the Mets have ever. It's one of the biggest free agents the Mets have ever signed in their history. And this changes and shifts the power in this city. The New York Mets are now all in to win it. And they were all in it before this. And now the New York Mets have taken the city completely by storm now. They've taken New York City with this move. So, this is from SNY now. According to multiple reports, the Mets have signed Juan Soto to a 15-year, $765 million deal. And now we are going to wait now for the announcement. So this is the first big move now. The second really biggest move the Mets have had in the Cohen era. The other move, obviously, was bringing in Francisco Lindor. And now we have another big star. This is one of the biggest stars in baseball right now. And he is a great player. And he's a batting title champion. And I don't care what the money is. It's not my money. It's going to be fun to watch him now for many, many years. Anthony DeComo is now reporting. And Jeff Passan's reporting Juan Soto's 15-year, $765 million deal with the New York Mets includes no deferred money, according to sources, as escalators that can reach above $800 million. Holy shit. No fooling around. From Anthony DeComo. Juan Soto's agreed to sign with the Mets. Sources confirm 15 years, $765 million. 15 years. It's the largest deal in MLB history and more than double the highest guarantee the Mets have ever given. That's because of inflation. That's why the money's so high. From Bob Nightingale, MLB executives widely predicted last week that Juan Soto was going to the New York Mets and that Steve Cohen would not be outbid. They were right. $765 million, the largest contract in sports history. And this is the Mets lineup right now. Top five. They need another hitter in this lineup. Lindor, Soto batting second, I bat him third. Vientos batting third, Nimmo fourth, Francisco Alvarez fifth. I would bring back Pete. Wow. Insane. What a great move. Listen. Hello, Dr. Manhattan. How you doing? How you doing? I'm having a great night here tonight. The Mets have signed Juan Soto, which we knew was going to happen. Let me change the name of this video. Let me just edit this real quick. Now, please, in the meanwhile, please like this video and subscribe to Baseball HUD. I'm very happy now. Because the National League team that known as the New York Mets have signed Juan Soto. 15 years. $765 million. Crazy. Well, he said he was going to spend money to win, and he's done that. Give him credit, and would mention too, give David Stearns credit. Family's going crazy now. fan was all pissed off. It's like put the digging in there. No, let's congratulate all of us. Fino Viento, Ken Cohen, thank you. John Boyd, Mets signing Soto for $765 million. Bleacher Reporters report 15 years. Got him Hut. Vino Viento, congrats Hut. Harbor Bray, you have permission to scream now. I'm not screaming. I don't scream. Yeah, I mean that's really the next move. Now it's going to be fun to see the sort of meltdown. That the people in the media that are Yankees fans, what their meltdown is going to be. Greg, sure. How you doing? How's everybody doing? This is a great night. The big night for the Mets. A big night for all of us. And we knew this. I said this for a while. I thought the Mets were going to sign him, and they did. I knew the Mets were going to sign him because this is the kind of deal that's going to really, it is going to sort of massively change everything here. The Yankees are screwed now. The Yankees are screwed. The Yankees are effed now. They're now irrelevant. Now they're irrelevant. Now, let's be honest. And I've been waiting a long time. Okay, this is from Little Andy. SNY is retweeting this. Andy Martino, Little Andy says, opt-out isn't until after year 5 for Soto, according to a source. So the Mets will have him for 5 years and he'll probably opt out, which is fine because hopefully the Mets will win a World Series with him. And if they do that, then it's all worth it. This is from John Heyman. Another thing from John Heyman. The Mets offered Soto $760 million for 16 years. Oh, the Yankees, wow. The Yankees offered him more. The Yankees offered him more years, but less money. Wow. Oh, the Yankees really, they were willing to go. So the Mets basically gave him $5 more million and one last year. Wow. My one relative, he's awfully quiet. Oh, no, he did say something. Yes, we now have the worst captain in Yankee history. Horseface failed, and the one thing he needed to do this offseason was convince oh well. Put it in the books. That's right. Put it in the books, man. That's it. Yeah. So now we have a big star here. He is a big player, and we saw it now. And he's got such a great personality too. It's gonna be fun to watch the next few years. I mean, really. Mets did a great job. I'm very happy. But like I said, the money was so high because of inflation. And it's going to be worth it because he is a great player. Yeah, okay. This from Bob Knight. A little more clarity. Juan Soto's stunning 15-year, $765 million contract does not include a penny of deferrals and has an opt-out after 5 seasons, just in case it's somehow undervalued after the 2029 season. Be interesting to see what the country is 2020. I think it'd be probably in better shape than what it is right now in terms of inflation. Some key phrases, one of the Mets announcers, Uncle Steve just officially changed the game. They got the big fish, reeled him away from you-know-who. End of an era, beginning of a new one. Beginning of another. That is so true. This is the beginning. The time, the age of the Yankees is done. Is done. It's over. It's over. Finally. Yeah, so nasty, so angry. My relative, so bitter kid. Yeah, it's just gonna be a lot of fun now. It was fun last year, and now we had one of the biggest stars in the game now. Uh, you know, the Mets probably told Soto that they were willing to do more and they have a better farm system. They were willing to do more in this situation than the Yankees probably were. Hello, Michael King. Uh, K Art says still only $51 million per year. He's gone after 5 years. Okay, don't worry about it. We might not be here in 5 years. Yeah, the Mets probably told him they'll keep spending. He's spending, and they got a better farm system. I mean, that's what it comes down to. I mean, the Yankees probably didn't tell him that, and the Yankees do not have a good farm system. Boy, oh boy, my relative's really angry. You know, Super Stretch is really angry tonight. Yeah, I mean, he has the opt out after 5 years, which is great because he will opt out. Uh, he will opt out, definitely. And if the Mets win a World Series in the next 5 years and he opts out, goes to another team, that's fine. Then the Mets can use that money somewhere else. So I don't have any problems with that. I mean, I'm actually very excited. This is a great night. Uh, but it's a good night. And that's funny. People probably begging me to scream, yell. I don't have to do that. Scream and yell when the Mets win the World Series. Scream and yell when the Mets win the pennant. I'm going to go crazy at the offseason. I guess now the Mets have won the offseason. Can't call it an offseason. They won the offseason. Mets did what they needed to do in the situation. And now Juan Soto is now with the Mets. And he's not with the Yankees. Todd Lacan says, is Siri really going to be a starter? You said Buxton was a bad hitter. He makes Buxton look like Trout. He's just there for defense, man. And he's not going to start. He's going to basically be playing. He'll play when he's not hitting. When he's hitting, he'll play. He'll be basically in a platoon with Tyrone Taylor. I'm not worried about that. That's not a big deal. A guy says LFG Cohen pulled the trigger. That's right. Steve says, I knew that Heyman was the one that was going to break the news. Boris was this mastermind. Okay. K-Rod says, Luis Robert, you don't want that guy. He's a loser. He's from a losing team, losing organization. You stay away from that. You stay away from Luis Robert Jr. He's a losing player. And the Mets basically told you they weren't going to do that because they have two guys in center field that they're going to play every day. They're going to be in platoon. Taylor and Siri are going to be in a platoon. That's for sure. What a great night. What a great night this has been. I'm glad that I get to experience this here with you. Hopefully I was one of the first to bring it up. I got the money was a little off with the about the money from John Harper, who can't do anything without listening to a scout. Cohen obviously wasn't going to lose out on Soto. Got to 15 years, $765 million, according to John Heyman. I've been the Yankees the ultimate flex play owner. the dream scenario Mets fans were counting on when he bought the team. We've been wanting this for a long time. I didn't want Horseface, by the way. This is from the Coconut Head, Brandon Tierney. If Cohen buys the Jets, I'll forgive him for taking Soto. Enjoy your evening, Mets fans. He delivered. Revel. Gonna be nuts tomorrow on the fan. Okay. He's gonna have to deal with that spaz in the morning. Gonna deal with that spaz in the morning. Let's see. So Tommy Lugauer. This is the dawning of a new Met era. I've been telling you for months that a movement is coming. It's here, led by two generational talents. Juan Soto, okay, it's all about him. Who cares about him? Seems like the spaz is on with Evan Roberts. So Juan Soto has got more money than the combined players of Willie Adames, Blake Snell, Luis Severino, Yusei Kikuchi, Michael Wacha, Tyler O'Neill, Klay Holmes, Frankie Montas, Matthew Boyd, Shane Bieber, and Michael Conforto. Crazy. Okay, this is what Bill Manny's giving a little clarity. He was told the Yankees went to 16 years at $47 million and tapped out at that. And Cohen went to 51 for 15 years and got him. Wow. Crazy. Sorry I'm being quiet. I'm just goofing on my family. Hey, ding, ding, ding. Ding, ding. A great night continues. Thank you, Muttley and Love. Thank you. Thank you. I salute you. Salute you, my friend. Thank you. Thank you. Very generous. Very generous. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I stand up and bow. I should show you my Christmas decorations. Let me show you. You getting all ready for Christmas? Look at that. It's some of them. What a great night. I had to stand up for a minute. It's from Michael King. It was all about the money from Mr. Juan Soto. Yeah, of course. He said that 2 years ago. He said that. You know, I mean, he let it be known. He let it be known. He let it be known that he wanted a lot of money. All right, so Mike Puma is confirmation about the 5-year opt-out. That's fine. Because then if they win a World Series and they decide to move on, he decides to move on, that's great. You know. Well, the season doesn't start tomorrow. My one relative is so mad. It's unbelievable. The SL says Lindor, Soto 1 and 2 is hot. I would not bat him second. I wouldn't. I have to think about the Met line because the Met lineup is incomplete. Then they don't have a first baseman. Yes, thank you, Muttley and Love. I thank you. Very generous guy. It's great. Really is a big boost for the channel. Big boost for us here at the Baseball Hut during this holiday season, Christmas time. And I thank you. And they're really great subscribers and to this channel, and I appreciate it. Really do. Really big boost. Big boost. Again, I'll be back tomorrow. and another live stream. Hopefully, we'll have some more details on Soto. I'll probably record a video here in a few minutes and just post it. This is a great night. The Mets have really put themselves in a situation now. They put themselves on the map this year with going to postseason. Obviously, nobody was expecting it, and now they've doubled down on this, and they've signed one of the biggest players in the game to a massive contract, the biggest contract in sports history, biggest contract in baseball history. He's an excellent player. He's a great hitter. I'm so glad it happened tonight. I'm so happy. So now I don't have to get too crazy tomorrow being on the edge. And now we sort of focus in now on other things. The pitching staff, they need some more work with the starters. They need to re-sign Pete or not re-sign Pete. Bring in a first baseman. They need more moves. Let me update my book because I do have a book here, believe it or not. Just a little out of old school here for myself. This is more for me than anybody else. Now we have the top name is now Juan Soto, and he's a New York Met. Signed to a 15-year, $765 million contract. Holy shit. Holy shit, Batman. That's a lot of money. Yeah, and Pete Alonso would look great batting behind him. I mean, the Mets said they were going to go and get this guy. And they did that. They let it be known they were going to get him, and that's it. So, I'm going to do a video after this, but I want to thank you all for coming by tonight and sharing this with me. It was a great night. A huge night if you're a New York Met, and really one of the biggest historical nights. This is what Harry Rose posted, and absolutely right. It's perhaps the most unique moment in the history of the New York Mets. I told you from day one that Steve Cohen was not about to be the little brother in town. He was taking dead aim at the Yankees and everyone else. It's on. That's right. This guy wants to win, and he wants to win a lot. And I don't think he was too happy that the Mets lost to the Dodgers. So, I mean, so now we have one of the biggest players in the history of the game with the Mets now. The Mets are now, like I said, let me get back to what I was going to say. Steve Cohen show wasn't happy that the Mets lost to the Dodgers, okay? He wants to be the Dodgers East. He wants to beat the Dodgers. And I'm sure he wasn't happy that he lost to the Dodgers in the postseason. I know none of us were happy about it. And now he's done the unbelievable and is outspent the Yankees to a massive contract. All right, got another player off the board. Blake Trinan. He signed with the Dodgers. I kind of heard that he was going to sign with the Dodgers. Put him down. So he's off the board. I kind of figured he was going to go back to the Dodgers. Get him off. So the Dodgers have been pretty active tonight. I kind of figured once they signed Conforto that they were out on the Juan Soto thing, and that account looks like a fool now because the Mets signed Soto. So thank you for watching this live stream. We'll be back again. I'll be back again tomorrow talking about the Mets and everything that happened tonight. I'm going to record a video after this and post it right away. And I'll be back again tomorrow in a live stream tomorrow night. And we'll see where we are at. I'm sure we'll have more information on this deal, and we'll have more having fun and just enjoying the situation. We're in a great spot now. This is great. So thank you for coming. Thank you, Mudley and Love, for the super chat. Have a good night. Let's go Mets. I'll see you later. With my bell.